Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me tonight is my co-host, Joel Meyer. Joel, how are we doing?
Pretty damn good. Last day of work for the next month. So excited for some time off from the day job, and especially excited for the Euros, which started today with a bang, with Germany absolutely thrashing the Scots 5-1, which is excellent, not only for our country, Unserland, but also for our bets. Over 10.5 goals. That's already almost halfway there, and then the highest scoring team in the tournament to win the group, all that good stuff. So excellent result, good start to the tournament, and of course the Panthers. But we'll get into that. But top of the world right now, buddy. How about you?
Yeah, of course the Panthers. I saw Germany. There was only game today, right? They came out against Scotland. I think it was 4-1, 5-1 final, something like that. So
5-1. Yeah, it's usually the host country plays the first game, and then that's the only game in this first day.
Yeah, I mean that worked out. So yeah, Germany, good showing there to kick off the Euros. Florida Panthers, of course, up 3-0 now in the Stanley Cup final. It did get close last night for a little bit. We'll discuss Thursday night's Game 3, of course. Saturday night's Game 4, Cats going for a sweep, and the big Conn Smythe debate, which apparently, according to the odds, isn't much of a debate anymore. Even the poll we put on Twitter at Hockey SGPN, I think 68% on 41 votes right now have Bobrovsky over Barkov for the Conn Smythe, which that's shorter than minus 400 that he is. So Bob should be the favorite. Shouldn't be that big, but we'll get more into that. Top of the show here. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, your podcasts. Also subscribe on YouTube if you're not already. We go live there for every episode. You can watch it back, put odds and shit on the screen. So make sure you check that stuff out. Just get right into Game 3 last night. Panthers go up 1-0 late in the first. Late in the first, there needed minute and 2 left. Sam Reinhart on the board. Fantastic play by Alexander Barkov on 4-on-4. I think he stripped the puck from possibly McDavid. I had to go back and watch that again, but he stripped the puck, capped the puck in the offensive zone, got it over to Forsling, who got it in front of Reinhart for the goal.
Yeah, incredible play by all three guys, but especially Barkov. That's just what he does. That's what he's been doing all playoffs long and all season long, really. Awesome game. Oilers put on the pressure, but Panthers are able to sustain pressure. That's also what they do. And Bobrovsky, of course, that was his best game. Like, we could talk about Game 1. I was saving this stuff for the Conn Smythe talk, I guess. But Game 1, he was good. He was great, but it was more of a case of the Oilers missing. But in this one, he let in 3 goals, but I argue he made the better saves in this game. The Oilers had more legit chances, and he was making fantastic saves, particularly the one on McLeod. I think that would have been the equalizer. That one might have just won him the Conn Smythe, because it could be a different series if it's 2-1 instead of 3-0 when we were talking like Oilers already dead. I understand why he's favorite. We'll get into that later. But as for the game itself, it's just we talk about the Oilers being a regular season team. All the models love their bullshit, which makes sense in the regular season. But in the playoffs, crunch time, it's all about finishing your chances, being clinical, and not turning the puck over. Panthers don't turn the puck over. The Oilers do all the time. So they give up those high danger chances. Not a lot of them. I mean, not a lot of chances, but they give up those high danger chances. That's what got them in trouble at the beginning of the season, and it's still going on. And the Panthers are excellent at capitalizing on those turnovers. that strong forechecking play, just the discipline and the ability to get the puck out of your own zone. Panthers thrive at these things, and that's why they're the best team in the playoffs, and they're proving it once again here against arguably the best regular season team.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Panthers had those 3 goals in a little bit over 6 minutes there, second period, including Barkov on 2-on-1, turned into a breakaway. Thought that was going to help out his Conn Smythe odds. That was a game. Ended up being the game-winning goal there as well. But yeah, like you said, that Bob save on McLeod right after McLeod tied it kind of on a deflection in front. That's going to be on the Conn Smythe reel, because if the Oilers tie that, they're able to force overtime, maybe win it there. Like you said, it's a complete different series. But Yeah, Oilers kind of get a lucky bounce, get back into it. Broberg went off of, I think, Mikla's elbow, then bounced into the net, and then McLeod with another deflection.
Apparently, it's just a total fluke. Like the puck was going like too wide.
Yeah, it was, and but still, none of the Oilers big guys on the scores on the goal column. Those scores. McDavid did have a few assists, but McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Kane didn't play, but like those big guys, Bouchard, not scoring goals, just more depth goals for the Oilers. And it felt like until the Panthers or the Oilers got that goal in the third period that like the Panthers were playing a perfect road game in the third period. They were up 4-1, getting pucks in deep, forechecking. If the Oilers got in their zone, they had maybe a one and done chance. Then they got the lucky bounce and got some pressure going, got the momentum. And I was sweating a bit there towards the end. Of course, I know both of us would rather see Barkov than Bob win the Conn Smythe, so I know you were rooting for goals no matter what. But Panthers able to hold on there. Unfortunately, could not get the puck line done, but held on for the 4-3 win.
Yeah, you talk about the McLeod save. At least now all the highlight shows, everybody sharing the highlights, have something else to share now instead of that stupid fucking barrel roll in game one where he does the barrel roll and people are treating it like he saved it, even though Nugent Hopkins clearly missed the net. It's my guy Thomas Drance he's saying like I've never seen a miss being shared that often, and it was a miss. It wasn't a great save, but that's just the kind of public credit that Bobrovsky's getting, and then that's what we have to overcome in the Conn Smythe stuff, as we'll get into in a bit. Can't wait for that. But yeah, like you said, the big guys are being shut down. It's clear Draisaitl is hurt, but still, Barkov is that's just what he's done. He did that to the best players, particularly in the Boston and New York series, and he's doing it again here against the best player in the world. So he should be getting a lot more credit than he is. He is from the smart people. It's just the dummies, and unfortunately, a lot of the voters are dummies. So that we can't just count on the right decision being made. But for me, it's 100% Barkov. He should be the Conn Smythe winner. Now, I'm not only saying that because of my bets. Like I don't do that. Like I don't think that who's a good example? Matthews should have won the Hart that year. I don't know. There's other examples. I'm sure.
You're not just gonna blow it
here.
Like if you're a loyal listener, like this. If you're listening for the first time.
Faber should win the call to this year, but I think that Bedard would win, and I would bet him if they were a pick 'em. But for me, I would vote for Faber, and it's the same thing here. I would vote for Barkov, and that's where my money is. But it doesn't always work out that way. We're handicapping what the voters will do, not what we think should be the case.
Exactly. That's what's tough to do for people in the awards markets and stuff like that. Is like be like, okay,
they say, this guy should be it.
This guy deserves to win. This guy's 10-1. Oh my god, no! You have to bet on what you think the voters are going to do. You have to get in the minds of the voters and all that. But speaking of playing hurt, apparently ESPN confirmed today that Sean McDonough is fighting through an illness during the Stanley Cup final. He did miss a game in the Eastern Conference final. I'm not sure if you saw any of the clips of his goal calls, but they were not very enthusiastic whatsoever.
I was thinking of Sean McDonough. I was thinking of Ryan McDonough.
No, the announcer.
I get it. I don't have ESPN, but yeah, I heard about that, and that's funny because he's one of the few good ones at ESPN. So I was hearing a lot of complaints about his calls, so that makes sense. He's fighting through it, so credit to him, I guess.
But so ESPN put someone healthy, put someone better on the call.
I don't want anyone else. They all suck.
No, I think Bob Wisniewski, however you pronounce his name, is pretty good. He was the number 2.
I think
Wisniewski, yeah, he was the number 2 throughout the playoffs. But yeah, and I forgot to mention last show, so I'm going to do it this show. If you have ESPN Plus or Sportsnet Plus, throw on the NHL or ASL broadcast for a period, for a stoppage, for just like 5-10 minutes of gameplay. There's no announcers. You got the guys in the corner signing whatever commentary. There's
do you hear like the crowd more? Like
you hear the crowd noise. You hear
the benefit.
That's the real benefit. You hear the crowd noise. You get the in rink sounds like the stick against the puck, like stick against glass, stuff like that. You hear the players chirping a little bit. Like it's definitely worth checking out. I hope they offer that. It's in like a smaller box because they have the commentators, but still very good, worth checking out, especially if it's a blowout game or you're fed up with the ESPN announcers like I am.
I was a little bit too harsh on the ESPN because Kenny Albert's also pretty okay, so it's not like
and Ray Ferraro's great between the benches. Emily Kaplan
he's the best, but he's not a regular on ESPN.
No,
he's just in it for the playoffs here, which is good.
It was
their usual color guys all suck. Well, most of them.
Yeah, and when after the first period, second period, PK Subban was ripping the Oilers defenseman, and Mark Messier was just pissed off. There were screencaps of that across Twitter. If you guys haven't seen that, that was pretty good.
Yeah, they're all right too. I like them over the Sportsnet crew, other than Kevin Bieksa, of course.
Yeah. Sportsnet also has the Canadian slant a little bit. TNT is the best in the game.
It's unbearable. Like Kelly Fruity, David Amber, all those guys. Like it's sickening. Thankfully, I'm watching at the bar, so they turn the sound off for the intermission stuff. But yeah, I can't listen to it. It's sickening. It's not Team Canada, okay? It's the Edmonton Oilers. People in Vancouver, people in Calgary. You think they want to hear the jerking off over the Edmonton Oilers because they happen to be Canadian? I don't get it.
Yeah. I remember going there after whatever the 5-minute major was in the first period, and like during the intermission show, they tweeted out the clip. I watched it. They had like good arguments against it, but they were all like, "Oh, that's only 2 minutes." Like, no one was like, you know what? And given the heat of things, given the live speed, it's a 5-minute. But they were all fully on the Edmonton side, which was having what I think there's 4 people there. At least have one person take the opposite side.
Yeah, that was good with the Edmonton Vancouver series with Luke Gazdic going against Kevin Bieksa, of course. And I said Kelly Rudy. I'm sure he's not happy with it either, being the big flamer that he is. But the Gazdic guy, he's unbearably biased. It's whatever. It's fine. Like if local broadcast, but for national broadcast, I don't like it.
I also forgot to point out last show, Paul Maurice is saying his feelings don't matter. It's not the Oprah Winfrey show about the hit on Barkov. That was Paul Maurice is just a quote machine in these playoffs here.
Yeah, and he's waving to the crowds. They're all booing him. So
Cool. Thanking the crowd for booing him. All right, before we go farther here, we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Final. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex entries, so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. The best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount, and you can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. Don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. So sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code HGP. All right, Joel, anything else on Game 3 before we move on to Game 4 on Saturday night?
No, not really. Nothing that doesn't have to do with the Conn Smythe Award.
Yeah, that's I think what we're mostly sweating here. We'll go over the game here. Oh, I did want to mention that I was shocked to see Game 3 by puck drop. Edmonton apparently closed -145, and Panthers got 130 or better, which seemed crazy given the injuries to both sides. Barkov playing, Kane out, but I guess they saw the desperation factor, and everyone was on the Oilers.
No, they saw that Cody Ceci was going to start this game instead of Desjardins, so that drove the line a little bit. No, it happens. Like the narrative is that the Oilers are a desperate team, whatever. And in these playoffs, you get a ton of public money, so that's all it was. But we were happy to take the Panthers. Unfortunately, I didn't get the +130, but +120 was just fine.
Yeah, and now moving on to Game 4. Oilers still desperate here. They're at home for Game 4 Saturday night at 8:00. Oilers -118, Panthers -102. Over under 5.5. Over paying off +100. Under at -120. What do you bet in this game at all? Or you just stick with your series and Conn Smythe?
Well, this is a tough one to handicap because this is when you're handicapping the motivation of the team. Do the Oilers just go balls to the wall? They're back against the wall, cornered rat, that kind of thing, and just play their hearts out. And the Panthers, maybe they're a tiny bit complacent. I don't think that's the case because we know that they are the platonic ideal of a hockey playoff team, Stanley Cup winner. Maybe they just have that killer instinct, but maybe they're a tiny bit complacent. That's possible, I guess. And the Oilers are, back against the wall and all this kind of thing. So you're handicapping motivation. This is not my strong suit, which is why I tend to struggle in the month of March when a lot of teams are kind of checking out. So yeah, that's what you're factoring in here. First of all, look at the Mavericks right now. They're up by almost 20 points, 15 points, and they're in the same situation as the Oilers are going to be here. So they could certainly pull off the same thing and just give one final thrust. Don't get embarrassed in a sweep. Like there hasn't been a ssweep, I think, since the Panthers got swept. I could be wrong.
Since 98. 98 was
98.
The last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was that? I think it was one of the Red Wings victories.
Yeah, I think it was because the Flyers were
Capitals, I think, right?
Yeah, Capitals.
Good memory, Joel. Yeah, it's yeah. So they could be going for pride here to just win one game, see what happens after that. So in that, I can't go back to the Oilers. I'm just happy to back the Panthers. You know what? Even we could be a little risky and hope the Oilers win this one because, again, we're going back to the Conn Smythe conversation with the likelihood that Bobrovsky gets Conn Smythe is in a sweep. Like if they sweep, I think it's a better chance that he wins because he is ahead right now. So in a sense, we could be playing with fire here, but we could want the Oilers to win this with maybe a Barkov or a point or two, hopefully a goal. Or there's like a 4-3 win, something like that, and the Panthers finish it off in Game 5. That's personally what I'd be rooting for, and playing a little bit of fire. But I don't think the Panthers are losing 4 in a row, so I'm okay living with that danger. But as for handicapping this game, I'm sorry, folks. I got nothing for you because it's all about how the Oilers treat this. Like, are they able to solve what the Panthers are doing? Because so far, the Oilers are getting a ton of chances, specifically in the first 2 periods of Game 1. But Panthers are converting them and the Oilers aren't. And that's just it's not a coincidence that this is happening again with the Panthers and the Oilers. It's just the difference between a regular season team and a playoff team. So, yeah, Oilers can do it. Maybe they get a bit more puck luck. They got the puck luck going off with that shot against Kulikov. Maybe they get a couple more like that. Maybe Bobrovsky finally has a mediocre game. Doesn't have to have a terrible game for the Oilers to score because we know the talent and whatnot. Maybe their power play finally gets going. They still haven't scored on the power play. I think they're 0 for 10. I think I heard. Is that correct?
The stat I have in my head, I think they're 0 for 15 against the Panthers. I'm not sure if that goes back to the regular season, though.
Yeah, they haven't had 15 power plays, I don't think, but it's 0 for 8.
10, 0 for 10 in 3 games, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, the Oilers are maybe a little bit due for one, but the Panthers just almost 90% penalty kill percentage going into this game. So that's not a fluke that they're able to shut the Oilers down, especially with Barkov on the ice. Like you watch him with his active stick, he's breaking up all the seam passes. Panthers are anticipating where the Oilers are going, and Connor McDavid, like he's not able to break through. Like it's almost like he feels like he can't do it because he's just getting frustrated all the time by these pesky Panthers who are able to play so hard defensively. So yeah, I mean, I got nothing for you here. I mean, the under 5.5 would be my look. I hope it's an over game for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's I'm sorry, folks. Like this is what I've been capping all season long, right? I'm a futures better, so this is when it all comes down to. And yeah, so as for this game, I'm not going to be betting it at all. Maybe I don't even have any props in mind. So take away, Ryan. What do you got? Give the people something.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you. Like Panthers in 5 would be good. I added some Panthers in 5 and Panthers in 6 before the series, so I will likely be betting the Panthers here just in case they sweep, so I get some sort of profit out of that on top of that. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough to handicap motivation, but the Panthers aren't going to not try. They're obviously going to try, but Panthers winning at home, going back for one more game, definitely could have something to that. I think the Oilers will go all out, like you said. It's McDavid shots on goal. I recommended the shots on goal ladder last time out. I think he had 5 shots on goal, so going to go back to that 4+, 5+. He's going to be on a mission. I do think the Oilers are going to get a few more power plays and probably convert. They have to convert on one of these here, so I like the over 5.5 plus 100. Obviously, that goes against, or if it's under and they win, Bob gets Conn Smythe, so it goes against my Barkov Conn Smythe. But I think this is an over. I think Oilers are going to have to go all out offensively to try to beat the Panthers. They've tried to play the forechecking game. They've tried to play the Panthers game, but they have to play their own game, and that's going to be taking the chances of their own, which is going to make them even more vulnerable to more mistakes and counter rushes by the Panthers. Plus an elimination game, there's no harm in pulling the goalie down 2, down 3. If it's like 3-1 game, 4-1 game, 7 minutes left, power play, you could see him go 6-on-4 or after the power play if you don't want to, risk the icing. So I think that's another added bonus there at over 5.5 plus 100. For last game, I also recommended Panthers team total in the third period, over half a goal. They did not score in the third period, unfortunately, for first time in a while. They're one of the best third period teams in the league. I think the best in the regular season and in the playoffs. So I would look at that again, shop around for that one. So yeah, if I was betting this, just coming in, don't have any series bets or anything, I would take the Oilers minus 118, potentially an Oilers puck line plus 215. I think the NHL, the referee is going to kind of lean that way, give the Oilers a chance to get back into things. No riggingness or any anything too shady, but just tend to
they want another paycheck. They want another game.
Yeah. The refs tend to lean that way. The crowd's going to be on them, so. Yeah, Oilers minus 118. Don't hate the Oilers puck line, but going against that, I also could see an overtime game here. Plus 300 or better for the draw. Have not seen one yet. Almost got one last night. So yeah,
so few overtime games this playoffs, right?
Yes,
there were a few in the conference finals, but I think we're well below average.
Yeah, so I think we could be due for one. If that's a thing, you go by 3-1 or better. But I think, Oilers in the over here would be my two plays if you're looking to bet it. Personally, I probably will bet the over and possibly some Panthers just to hedge my in 5 and in 6. But if you're betting this without anything else already on the line, I would go Oilers minus 118. I'm going to look up some props. I think McDavid shots on goal is pretty good. Maybe might finally be the time to look for some power play point props for the Oilers. Could see those getting up fairly high. Maybe not. Bouchard plus 150, Draisaitl plus 130. That's McDavid's minus 110 to have a power play point. That shows you what the market thinks of how penalties are going to be called for the Oilers in this game. So lean to the Oilers. Probably a bet on the over, but that's really all I have here.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'm gonna pull up the odds real quick for Panthers in 5 and Panthers in 6. Panthers in 5 is plus 220, which if you like the Oilers this game, like Panthers series, don't hate that too much. They should be the big favorites in Game 5 going back home if there is a Game 5. And then in 6 is 7-1, which I think would take some finagling. So if anything, I would recommend the 4-1 in 5 at plus 220.
Just did a quick money line rollover. So just the price here in the Oilers and gave the Panthers minus 130 in Game 5. It comes up to plus 227. So roughly the same. But I'm sure if you shop around, you have more books. The money line rollover would be better, I think.
You don't think the Panthers would be like minus 175? I thought minus 130 was. No. You don't think so?
No, they were like minus 120, minus 125.
They were minus 1. Okay, minus 140 game 1, minus 111 game 2. I guess Stanley Cup final, they're not going to be that big of a favorite.
Yeah. I anticipate like a minus 125 price, something like that. Maybe a little bit higher, but
yeah, I'd say maybe up to 150. 175 is too much.
Not minus
Stanley Cup final, but 150. I mean, Oilers got to 145 last night, so could see a similar price there with the Panthers.
Yeah, that's my point. Like Oilers minus 145 the last game. I don't see why the Panthers would go that high the other direction. Maybe because they're desperate to close the series. I don't know. That's what I would make the price. I would make them like minus 175 or close to it, but I'm not sure if the market will treat it that way. But maybe you're right. Maybe minus 150, but I would rather do the money line rollover. That way, it gives you a chance to give you a market entry. You could shop around, find different odds. I'm sure you could find better than minus 118 now on the Oilers for this one. So that's just how I would do it.
Probably can. Yeah, minus 115 is the best out there, as high as minus 124. So minus 119 is not too bad right now. All right, let's throw to Rhythm here. If you're betting on NBA player props, you can just download Rhythm. Rhythm is a prediction and projections app that makes the data and analytics and sports betting easy for everyone. Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Prop predictions are paired with trend graphs, so you can see for yourself whether or not the prediction has meat, making betting easier for sports bets or DFS picks. Rhythm was on Tatum under assists and rebounds the other night when the world and Twitter said bet is overs, but the robots know. From superstars to bench players, Rhythm finds the best player prop lines, all backed by best-in-class data. You don't have to endlessly scroll a sportsbook or look at multiple sites. So go to claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And of course, check out Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets to your favorite events even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. You can use the app features like customize your spot, app features like last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. And there's views from all the seats in the venue, so you know what to expect before you arrive. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, Joel. Bob, minus 400. Barkov, plus 450. What are you thinking?
So, as hardcore veteran listeners will know, when I'm dealing with this award stuff, I've got my ear to the ground. I'm downloading podcasts. I'm listening to them at 2 times speed, just gathering all the information I can from people in the media who have a pulse, or to get a pulse, rather, on how they're thinking. And from what I've gathered, what I've gleaned, is that Bobrovsky is ahead, but he's not ahead by this price. Like minus 400 implies that it's let me quickly double check I got the math right. 80%, right? 80% chance that Bobrovsky wins the Conn Smythe at this point. That's the best number, and I don't think that's true. I think it's more like a 65 35 60 40, something like that, based on what I've heard, because people are like, the dumb people, I would say, were like, Bobrovsky's a lock, right? And then the people they're talking to, sometimes, like the smart people, be like, don't be so fast. Barkov, and then they make a strong case for Barkov, a case that I happen to agree with. I don't need to get into that again. I've been over it again and again, why Barkov represents the identity of this team, why they're so good defensively, and a big part of why Bobrovsky is elite in net is because of Barkov and what he does defensively. But yeah, the media is definitely leaning towards Bobrovsky, but it's not as distanced as this price reflects. Like, for instance, Greg Wyshynski was saying that he talked to a couple of voters who are adamant that Barkov should win. And Luke Fox, a Toronto reporter, was saying that he was at a dinner the night after the game with some of the voters. Like, the voters are so secret. We don't know who the voters are specifically. Mm-hmm. We know that Elliot Friedman, did he say he's not he said he might have a vote. I don't know, but we don't even know if Friedman has a vote.
I saw today Pierre LeBrun of The Athletic has a vote because he had an article along with Daniel Nugent-Bowman, who I believe covers the Oilers for The Athletic, Michael Russo, who's like a national Minnesota Wild guy, and then Chris Johnston are also among the 18 voters. So we know 4 out of the 18 just based off this one article today.
Okay. Yeah, I think Friedman has a vote, and he
better have a vote.
Well, he's leaning Bob, so yeah. Hopefully he doesn't. Anyway, Luke Fox, he was at a dinner, and there was a heated argument between actual voters about who should be the Conn Smythe winner between Bobrovsky and Barkov, and it was pretty even based on what he was saying. So, yeah, it's a war. It's going to be close. Yeah, I gotta credit Archer or something as much as I don't want to. But what are your thoughts on that?
On what Archer said?
No.
On just
the general feeling of in the media. I don't know. You're on Twitter more than I am, so.
No, I completely agree. It's kind of why I put the poll out. I know that's not going to be voted on by like important people, but just to get the general sense of things. I've been trying to read articles, see what people are saying. Even that Pierre LeBrun article, it was very much not much heated adjectives on arguments on either side, because probably that's not allowed. They're probably not allowed to like reel in advance, but I think if it's a sweep, it's going to be Bob, unless it's like a 5-4 game and Barkov has 2 goals. But like you said, it should not be minus 400 plus 450. Maybe minus 200, which is a 66% chance of happening, which I think is more along the lines of things as well as you said. Yeah, but I don't know. Bob's been the favorite for the odds-on favorite now since what, game 2? He was like minus 200, getting higher. We didn't like that. And
after game 2, yeah.
After game 2, yeah. And he had the shutout. Everyone's like, "Oh, shutout game 1." He, that set the tone for the series. They've completely shut him down. Big save in game 3 on McLeod there. But what I'm looking at with Sergei Bobrovsky is currently his save percentage in the playoffs is .916, with a goals against of .207. I think I said this before on the show. I said it in the Discord. The last goalie with a save percentage under .920 to win the Conn Smythe was back in the 90s. Since the lockout, Cam Ward in 06 is I guess the best comparison here. Save percentage .920, goals against 214. So kind of similar to Bobrovsky in that, right? He was a rookie, 21-year-old. So I don't know if that added to the narrative back then. But looking at the Hurricanes like scoring in the playoffs that year, I was looking up before. I think they had I think Jordan Stahl was going to be the comparison or Eric Stahl, whichever one. Eric Stahl is on that team, so that's kind of what I was looking at as a comparison. It's different because Bob has the career behind him, 2 Vezinas, and in Hall of Fame case, Cam Ward was just starting his career. But besides that, goalies to win it in recent years: Vasilevsky 937 in 21, Jonathan Quick in 2012 to 946, Tim Thomas 940. You have to put on an otherworldly performance, and I don't know if Bob has done that. I guess another argument for Bob would be he went up against Vasilevsky, outdueled him. Went up against what's the second round against Swayman. Well, I mean, he
did not outduel Swayman.
He didn't. But he got past him, and then he outdueled Shesterkin. Maybe not outdueled him, but got past him, and then now not going against another great goalie, but going against Connor McDavid, one of the best to ever play the game. He has that narrative as well. But I know we've talked about the Barkov identity thing for a while. He's always. I'm hoping he's always just been this underrated guy, and the odds right now are underrated, and he's gonna sneak up in game 4 or game 5.
Yeah, it makes sense. The Cam Ward thing that would make sense to me because Eric Stahl,
that was also against the Oilers back in 06.
Right. Great player back in his day, but he's not Alexander Barkov. So it's just I can understand Cam Ward getting that, even with the relatively mid save percentage of 920 among the Conn Smythe winners among goalies. Going back to what I was implying or teasing with Archer, a longtime member in the Discord in our group chat, he was saying that he was actually making a great comparison, one I didn't think of, but the Bobrovsky-Barkov dynamic is very similar to the O'Reilly-Binnington dynamic in 19, with O'Reilly winning the Selke, Barkov winning the Selke this year, Binnington having a relatively similar save percentage to Bobrovsky this year, and O'Reilly he won that, and he was the leading point getter on his team, and Barkov will likely be that for the Panthers, and it wasn't particularly close. Binnington finished second, but by 30 points he was off of O'Reilly, and hopefully that historical precedent bears fruit and it's repeated. But I guess the obstacle, what would it be? There's new voters, right? It's a bunch of new voters. It's just not going to be the same thing in particular, but we do look at that historical stuff to predict the future. That's just what you do. And but by all those accounts, Barkov would be the bet still, plus 450. I mean, I'm not adding more because I'm scared. Scared the voters are going to do something dumb, which is what they do often. But yeah, for the virgin in this market, I would absolutely recommend Barkov at plus 450. If you disagree with me, go ahead, bet Bobrovsky minus 400. You got balls, kid. I don't know, but I don't think that's a great bet.
Yeah, it's too steep at this point to bet minus 400. At that point, just bet the Panthers to win game 4, or bet Oilers team total under 4.5 is probably minus 200. It's better than minus 400 here. What you're going to Conn Smythe. If you like Bob at this point, just
parlay Panthers and the under something like that. That's a lot
Yeah.
better than Bobrovsky
Yeah.
minus 400.
Or I forgot who did it in the group chat, but they bet a shutout, and then Joel bet the shutout live, and then the goal happened.
I didn't bet that.
You didn't bet it?
No, I was joking because I was like, the Oilers are fucking useless. There's just fucking bet the team total.
Yeah.
No, I seldom live bet in hockey.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but you seldom prop bet too, and you hit Wyatt.
If I bet something, I'll put a fucking price by it. Okay, like I don't just toss it out. Like
that's true. Yeah, but like you said, that Binnington O'Reilly comparison's pretty good. Back in 2019, Binnington started all 26 games, 16-10, only one shutout, 914 save percentage, 246 goals against there. O'Reilly, Archer said he set the Blues record for most points in the playoffs. He had 23 in 26 games. Had some help. Jaden Schwartz with 20, Pietrangelo 19, Tarasenko 17, Perron 16. So, like, it wasn't just O'Reilly doing it.
And he wasn't the captain. Barkov is the captain.
He wasn't. Pietrangelo was the captain, right? Wasn't?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, and now you got Barkov 21. Kachuk's there with 20, but different lines. Barkov also has 4 game-winning goals in these playoffs, including Game 3 of the Cup final. Verhaeghe, of course, 18. Right, Reinhart, Lundell, each with 15. So similar how it's like spread across the things, but I think it's also because Binnington was such new to the scene there that people may not have given him the credit he deserved for the not the Vezina, for the Conn Smythe, but and O'Reilly kind of had a longer career at that point. But I mean, Barkov's had a long career. Barkov's long been one of the most, to go from the most underrated player a few years ago in some poll to the Conn Smythe winner as the captain of the Panthers, I think would be, he has the narrative too. Like, I feel like, but how does he win if the Panthers sweep? Do you think there's a chance? Like a 5-4 win or something?
Got to go over. Barkov has to have a couple points.
Yeah.
And then win a coin flip voting decision.
Yeah. But it is good to hear that you said like voters were getting heated when they were discussing it, because I don't want to see a runaway one way or the other. It's not like last year where Marcia So's I guess, Bob's minus 500 some places. That's what Marcia So was last year, but it's
Marshall was even higher.
Yeah.
But apparently that was right, because he won in a landslide, even though he didn't do much in Game 5.
Yeah. Yeah, the votes are due 10 minutes left in the third period. So if it's a close game, they can't factor in any sort of like late heroics by
That's so
Barkov.
stupid.
Yeah.
Got to wait till the end of the
they should be due by the final horn. Take 10 minutes, because like the Conn Smythe isn't awarded for celebrations, handshakes, shit. So there's that. And then Bob wins if the Panthers sweep with a low scoring game. Even with another 4-3 win would probably be a Bob win, unless Barkov has a few points. But if the Oilers win this game, I think Bob should come down to minus 200-ish, if not more. I don't know if the market would switch that much, depending on what type of game it is, and also just what Barkov does.
Yeah, that sounds all right. I mean, obviously it depends on the score, but yeah, I think the longer the series goes, the better chance, better case Barkov has. Last thing on this, we've beat this horse to death and ate his flesh. What was I going to say? Oh, I recently learned today, actually, that now that Barkov is going to win the Stanley Cup, I'm just gonna say that Panthers are winning. Now that he's going to win the Stanley Cup, every Selke winner since the salary cap era began has won, except for Kessler, who almost took a Game 7 in 2011, and Couturier, your guy.
You're gonna do me like that, Joel? You're gonna do me like that?
Yeah, he wasn't particularly close, but everyone else, obviously Bergeron has 5 or 6 Selkies, but still, that's a long time ago, over 20 years, and they've all won except for those 2 guys. And so yeah, that just shows. Like, look at the Hart guys. I should have thought of this before. Like, I don't know, like Taylor Harley's never won a Stanley Cup. McDavid's never won a Stanley Cup. Austin Matthews never won a Stanley Cup. All these Hart guys, regular season beauties, but in the playoffs, you need the Selke guys. You need the two-way performers. So that's why that's something to look at too going forward. Like, you need that strong two-way center to win a cup, basically. And yeah, we talked about O'Reilly earlier. He won the Selke that year and won the Stanley Cup, and that's likely going to happen again. Almost certainly going to happen again here with Barkov. So Selke and the Stanley Cup definitely correlated. I don't know if you can parlay that anywhere. That would be a good correlated parlay, I think, and gives a little bit of hope for our Devils. You know, my fake team.
Who's our Devils? Come on.
More my Devils.
Your Devils.
I like to speak in the third person, all right, or in the second person rather. It's Nico Hischier is likely going to win a Selke in his career, and that gives us some hope for the Devils to win. And even though they're more like the Avalanche right now, but we'll see. Things can change in terms of their identity, especially with the new coaching staff.
Yeah. Look at some prop markets here for the series. I'm not sure. I can't see the live odds here. It's not available down here. But have you seen the first player to receive the cup from the captain odds?
I know. I don't know if we can say books right now, but
we can say whatever we want. I think.
Yeah.
I know. FanDuel has it in certain states. I've seen Canadian people tweeting that out.
Bovada did have it. Like, I think it was in the conference finals. Or Bodog for us Canadians, that's what we call it. I think that was the original name of the book before they. I think that was. Anyway, we got sidetracked, but it had something to do with a poker scandal where they went under and screwed a bunch of people over, and they became Bovada. Yeah. But it's still Bodog up here, and they did have a market for cup handed off. Very, very dumb. I mean, it was very small limits, of course, but it was like Okposo and Ekblad are obviously going to be getting it. Like Ekblad, because he's been with the team for so long, and Okposo because he's an old guy and he's never won the cup before, that kind of narrative. So, and they were like, I don't know, 8-6 to 1. So if you just bet both those guys, then it would be looking pretty good. But yeah, I think that one of those guys gets it, and that's all there is to it. But I haven't seen a market in a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet it out this morning. Josh English from Covers. Okposo is plus 146, Bob's plus 146, and then Ekblad is plus 540. It looks like he has a bet on Ekblad because he said Okposo games played with the club 20 games and averaging under 9 minutes time on ice in playoffs. Ekblad's played 736 games, former first overall pick and second all time in Panthers games played behind Barkov. If Okposo takes the first handoff, I'll lose my shit. I mean,
if Bob takes it, well, who's betting Bob at plus 146? Like, Ekblad should definitely be the second favorite there.
Yeah, Ekblad wears an A too, right? He has to. Yeah, he has to wear a letter for him. I know I've seen the Panthers have kind of rallied around Okposo, but Ekblad not getting it would be some shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those two, no doubt. So yeah, at that number, that would be the bet if you have that market available to you for all $30 worth.
Yeah. And then one more thing here. Evan Rodriguez still leads the series in goals with 3. A bunch of other players have 1 goal. He's minus 130 to lead the series in goals. I kind of like that, especially if you think this game is going to be a Panthers win with the under. Like, who's scoring 3 goals to get past them? Even if someone scores 2, it's still dead heat. You still get half of that.
Yeah. Minus 130. That sounds good. It'll take an Oilers win to lose that. So I don't know if you can parlay this again, but that'd be another option. Most books aren't that dumb, but there's a few out there who will let you do a wild thing. So have a look around.
Yeah, you got to shop around there. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got here. Panthers can hopefully, maybe not hopefully get it done for us. Maybe they get it done in 5, and Bob has a bad game, but.
We'll be like the mayor of Tampa Bay, like win the cup at home, Florida. If you remember, in front of your home fans.
Yeah, and I know there was a lot made about the Panthers getting in late on Wednesday night before the game. Maybe that catches up with them on a quick turnaround here on a 1 day off, but that's just more conjecture and bullshit than anything.
No, this team is they are imperturbable, whatever the word is, unperturbed by such silliness. So they'll be fine. They were fine in that game 3. They'll be fine in game 4.
Yeah, I'm seeing right now Mavs up 61-35 at half. Maybe that's a good fortune for the Oilers.
Oh my word, Celtics! Come on, I want that money.
Celtics want to win at home too.
Oh yeah, Boston will go mad. Oh, good for them, I guess. Yeah, they've never won anything before, have they?
No, Boston, good old small town. They need something. They need something to feel good about. All right, that's gonna do it here for game.
Well, little golf update.
All right.
Obviously, our guy Scotty lucky to make the cut, but he's not going to win. But I bet some Auburn. Like I said before the tournament, I was on him for the low debutantes, low European. Got him in a matchup with Hovland. Hovland missed the cut, so that one won already. But we bet him outright, like on game or day one there, round one. And we're gonna go with this guy. I mean, it's a little bit early for him to win a major. This is only his third ever. He's still super young, but he's got the right mentality. Like he's out there smiling, laughing away. Like he's not the guy that's scared of the moment. And he's not like Rory is the only major winner in the mix there. Like Cantlay is up there, Finau. Not a lot of guys with a ton of success in majors. So I'm okay keeping on supporting my guy Ludwig Auberg. He's just the best golfer by far left in the mix there. So yeah, I know his price is pretty short now, but still I think that it's him and Rory. I think Rory's the only one who can upset him, and we know his capacity to choke lately in these majors. So Ludwig Auberg is the guy. That's will be back on the weekend at the U.S. Open.
All right, should be a good weekend of some golf there. So make sure you follow along. Make sure you also follow along to the podcast here, Hockey Given Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple or Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and review, and I'll read it here at the end of the show. Subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube. Appreciate you guys coming out for the live chat when you do. Parker, the underbetter, in there tonight. So shout out to Parker. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Vote in our Conn Smythe poll just to get our votes up there. And get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. I'll try to get some props together to throw in there for Saturday night. All right, and I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
And I'm Joel Marr. You'll find me in Deutschland the next time we record, presumably for the draft or maybe a Stanley Cup review.
It could be Game 5. You're that confident?
It would have to be Game 6 because Game 5 is on Tuesday, and I'll be on a train probably on a train, but probably can't do a Tuesday show. But after Game 5, if they're still alive, then we'll still keep having to handicap these dumb games. But anyway, yeah, I'll be in Germany. And happy Father's Day.
Yes. All right. See ya.